Nice to meet you, Tamisha. Hope you don't mind me joining. I've just been supporting Mary with the experience page creation,
Okay,
and project sourcing and all that stuff.
okay. And we're pretty local to each other. I'm in Raleigh and she's in Charlotte. So I was excited about that because
Ah,
even though I get excited when we're going to Uganda because I get to brag, I'm working with Uganda. I'm working with Canada. It was like, oh, I'm working with Charlotte.
I spent I spent years in Raleigh. I did my undergrad and master's there, and
Really?
so I
Where'd
was
you
at
go?
NC State um,
Okay.
for undergrad and masters, and then worked up in New York on Madison Avenue in the legal field for a while, and so yeah,
Okay.
rather secure
Okay.
path.
Yeah. So this is visiting home again, then, huh? Yeah, with NC State. So this is amazing. I want you to tell me more about your experience, Mary. And then usually what I do is I usually craft because we have so many projects that we operate with. I can craft a program around what you're doing. So we can start by you telling me what you are looking for. Then what I can do is I like to meet the needs of the university by, if you want to load up a bunch of interns, I can because we operate from the micro school space with young kids. We
Okay.
operate from the business space with making marketing affordable for businesses. And then what we want to do is we reach out to those tier 2 and tier 3 counties so that we're able to make sure, especially with the funding cuts for education, that we are offering experiences for young kids and really bridging the gap both digitally and what they're receiving inside the classroom. So I design around what you want the kids to experience. So let's start by you telling me what you're looking for.
All right. Well, this is a first that we're doing a college based because I'm in the College of Humanities and Earth and Social Sciences. I'm a sociologist.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm an assistant dean, and so we're doing this at the college level, offering a course based internship experience. So I have 24 students in the course, and I'm choosing, up to like 6 different projects for students to work on in small groups. Most of the students in the class are coming from, I've got a lot coming from biology, I've got a lot coming from psychology, a lot coming from sociology. I do have a few from political science, a couple from communications. So, a large group predominantly of social science students.
Okay.
So they have the ability to obviously do research, they have the ability to, interview, they have the ability to analyze data. Um, I noticed that what you're looking for is developing a programming
Hmm.
for young people, and I have a lot of students that they are really interested in anything to help kids. In our college, a lot of students come to me and go, Mary, I want to help. And I'm like, okay, help who, help how? And that was where this whole finding the helpers theme sort of came into being,
Okay. Okay.
to sort of help them understand the wide range of helpers out there.
Okay.
So that's where my students are coming from. I mean, yes, it's a very interdisciplinary class,
Okay.
so if they're, and I will sort of let students, I'll first give them a first pass at which project they want to work on. I may
Hmm.
have to do some shuffling around,
Okay.
but I'm sure students are going to be really intrigued in your project, particularly because it's in North Carolina.
Right.
We all know that, university students, they tend to stay in the state where they actually go, regardless of where they came from.
Right.
So it's a pretty cool thing. So with the project, because you said you have a wide range of projects.
We got a bunch of projects.
Because the one that we
I
had.
think that I think based upon what you are saying, I think that this project does fit you best because
Mhm.
the other projects are more skilled with robotics and actually delivering the experience to the
Yeah.
students. This particular project, we also do have a project with, and maybe once I see how they're working, because they want to help, we can actually put them in different spaces based upon what they're good at once I do an assessment on what they actually want to do. So I can actually use your group to actually support the other universities. But with this project of the community educators, this is basically looking for professionals that want to also help, may not have the time, but they could attend a cohort for, I think it's once a month for 12 months, where we pick their brain, we show them how to pick their brain and how they would take their intellectual property and turn it into a course for our micro school learning. And so that is what this particular project is specifically about. And I would show them how to research, how to be able to find these professionals online, and we actually be able to recruit the tools that's needed, like the webinar. So I'll actually show them how to use the tools that we have in our arsenal, so that when people go through our customer journey, it's actually prepared by your students.
That's awesome.
We're trying to help.
I know.
These budget cuts are going to be crazy. Like, we've never seen this in America before. We've never seen, say, hey, let's eliminate our middle classes. We're giving our jobs away to China. You know, I teach Chinese kids in the morning time. So I see the mindset of the Chinese kids. I see what they're doing. I see Africa saying, I see our dollar. What is coming down this pipeline? And so we've got to just not cut people off. We have to be able to be in a space where we continue to be Americans, work together, and work past whatever this storm is about to come. And so I've been working on this for 20 years. For some reason, I feel like I was born to do this, and to be able to have Ripen connect me up with universities internationally to assist in this process, and one in our backyard, is amazing. You're traveling distance, you know? And so that means that we can cultivate a relationship. I started this program with Shaw University students,
Yeah.
and they help structure the program. But I'm like, how do I get this to other universities? And a friend of mine who's a teacher, she was like, you need to check out Ripen. You need to check them out. And so I just started with the project last quarter with Nate, with the National Alberta Institute of Technology students. They did a wonderful job for a group with Communiversity. I'm connected. This is a client of mine. She has been working to organize workers across the United States for 30, 40 years. They attend the United Nations meetings. When the workers say that they're going to go on strike, that's because of her work. You know, and so they have been doing this grassroots organizing, and they know nothing about marketing. And I'm like, okay, well, let me give you some tools. And so they are paying really for the cost of tools. I'm still, in 20 years of work, I got a part-time job, because I make sure that I connect the students up, I put the money in the tools, and we are building a system such that we can make impact and be able to stand in the gap and bring in Communiversity now. That's one of our clients, where we take a house and turn it into a library, with workforce development, with the support of county commissioners. I just joined my sustainability board in the town that I live in, which is Zebulon, right outside of Nightdale area. So this is the work that we do, and so I'm elated to be able to have this platform. You guys are a lifesaver for just getting connected to universities, and these students are wanting to make a difference, and they do. They do. Each project builds our organization, builds our system.
Yep. And students genuinely want to do the work to help. I mean, it's a weird time for students. Look, Laura's heard this conversation from me many, many times. I was talking to our dean this morning when I was walking into the building, going, I don't like this current timeline we're in. I want every day I wake up and I want a different timeline, because students they're very fearful of what's coming. There's so much uncertainty, and they're also almost afraid of what they can and cannot say.
Wow.
Because, well, we've already had a member of our campus community, an administrator, was fired because she was caught in a gotcha moment.
Oh, wow.
there's a lot of faculty, myself included, when I teach face-to-face classes, I worry. If anytime a student pulls out a phone, if you,
You don't know if
as
you're being
a
recorded.
sociologist, because I specialize in crime, law, and deviance, that's my area.
Oh,
So everything that I'm saying, they could record stuff, splice it up, and I've just violated the law
wow.
because of restrictions of what we can and cannot say. I
Wow.
mean, sure, we're told, yes, there's academic freedom.
But is there really?
We're not always sure how far that's going to go.
Wow.
So students feel this,
Right.
faculty feel this,
Wow.
but we're all living in this very surreal time going, life is still going on. People still need help, and
Yeah.
they're going to need more help as
Right.
time goes on.
Yeah.
I mean, fortunately,
Grow your
we're
own food. You better be able to light your own neighborhood. You better be able to, as a community, and come together as a community to do it.
yeah.
And so that's what this is. We use Elon Musk's satellite that allows us to go into rural communities, so that if we're going into rural communities, we don't have to worry about whether or not we have good Wi-Fi connection. I mean, those are the types of things that we are doing just to make sure that we can make sure communities don't get cut off.
I mean, 'cause there have been a lot of broadband projects that have been put in place that the funding is, who knows at this point. I mean, I know our
Right.
attorney general here in North Carolina, he's fighting hard to get money
Mhm.
that had been appropriated for the state to actually get it to come here.
Right.
But it's
Mhm. But those satellites that we use, they work just fine.
yeah, I could never send that man money though.
Yeah. You know. So it's I I never thought, because I live in a free space. I live in a free, so I never thought about what universities and the students are going to, and then from a sociology's perspective, you know the pulse. You feel it beep, beep, beep in real time, you know.
I feel it. I just came from a thing on campus earlier that students came up because I'm old. They look at me as like the old auntie that it doesn't matter their race. These students come up and they're like, oh my God, can we contact you? Yes, of course. Um,
Right.
you know, they're like, yeah, but you're a dean. I don't care. Here's my
The
name.
title. Yeah.
Call me
Yeah.
Mary because all the formality stuff that it's just not me. We've got to get back to where people are people first.
Yeah.
And we have to also understand that society is not a zero sum game.
Yeah.
We can, all of us win. We
Right.
can have synergy.
Yeah.
And so that's what, my students, they have heard me talk about this. Some of them, there's a couple of them in the class that I think this would be the fourth, maybe fifth class a few of them have taken from me. I'm like,
Wow.
okay, this is a little creepy. You're majoring in Mary. Um, you gotta stop that. It's a weird place to be. But no, they care. And they see the damage that COVID did globally. They see, we're having students that they're still trying to come back
Yeah.
from that. I mean, because we have students coming in now that they were like in middle school when COVID
Yeah.
hit,
Yeah.
and there's a lot that they're still having to catch up on. A
Yeah.
lot of
I mean,
social
I have a
skills.
son. Yeah, I have a son, and I saw the effect. My daughter being a little bit younger, but that was that high school. He was in high
Mhm.
school when it hit, and I'm seeing a huge difference. That, and I was about to say when you first started, we got the COVID babies, and
Yeah.
and I think that was a sociology test. I think that was a test on what we would tolerate,
Yep.
and I think that And I think as Americans, we stood strong on it. I think that we came through and said, I don't think so, And so I think that that energy has to continue on, and we've got to continue to, you know, just stay strong in whatever's going on, in this space, And
Yeah.
so this project does that. I was a part of the first robotics competition, and
Okay.
so first had grants, and it welcomed us into the team. My son is actually at A&T
Okay.
because of it, in the engineering department. He's got a contract to go work with the Defense Department. College is already paid for, has a job, and
That's fabulous.
it is. But first, kind of kicked us out, like stole a robot. Like, who does this? And so this process is really to say, okay, this is, and then seeing where the teams were coming from. You've got a statewide competition, and half the teams coming out of Raleigh. And so, this is designed to be able, and then to be on the beta box. So beta box has been funded by our legislators, and to be on the beta box that has access and exposure to robotics, but doesn't master it the way FIRST does. That's a huge disparity. So the tier 2, tier 3 counties get exposure, but the schools with tons of resources are putting titanium on their robots. And so what this does is it levels titanium. Because I'm in Chapel Hill and I've worked with that club. I worked with it with the Emerson Waldorf schools this summer. And they're like, we put titanium on the robots. It's like, it didn't look any different from the silver we had, but we had to flex because we have resources. And so I said, okay, we've got to get to these tier 2 and tier 3 counties to give these kids exposure, access.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what they're helping us do. The helpers are going to help us get to those counties and offer curriculum. And we're going to show up like the union, the cavalry team coming to free people, and provide resources for community members that may have been left behind. And that's what this is.
And, being from North Carolina, I fully understand and feel what you're saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up in Davidson County,
Mm-hmm.
And right outside Winston-Salem, but still,
Right.
it was working in tobacco fields,
And I'm from Alabama, so I'm looking at, when I came here from North Carolina, oh, this feels so like Alabama, but I learned, so goes North Carolina, so goes the nation. So I'm like, huh? So in Alabama, we say, thank God for Mississippi, because we're coming in 49th and everything. Because we got a way of life that's the way of life, and the way of life is the way of life in Alabama. But North Carolina, because of its I'm a marketer, because of its strategic location, Indian population, ocean, mountains, the being so close above, being higher above the Mason-Dixon line, having agriculture, but forward enough to have industry, and setting aside sides that was looking at technology. And so we have an interesting, so goes North Carolina, so goes the nation, and they test things out here. So before they ever introduced it on the Senate floor, they tested it out in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm. No, we are often a test case for lots of things, and the sad thing is, North Carolina had been becoming a very progressive place in the 90s. Mm-hmm. And, when the 2000s rolled around, we saw North Carolina. Well, when Pat McCrory was elected governor, he took the state back 50 years. Mm. And, so it had been becoming a much more progressive place. And then they've just gerrymandered the daylights out of us, so mm-hmm. that we really cannot choose the people who represent us. I mean, gerrymandered to the point that, I'm sure you're aware, I think it's A&T, they literally have districts splitting that college in half.
I'm just finding that out because I was
Mhm.
in Edgecombe County and they were like,
Yeah.
we sit in 2 counties. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, well, that
Nash and
ain't
Edgecombe, and the
yep,
train tracks divided. I have a student from there who was talking about this in class,
yeah,
and literally what used to be a very thriving part of town,
yeah,
they actually set out to almost systematically destroy the thriving African American community there.
yeah, yep.
Yeah.
I just learned about that in my with the community university client
Mhm.
sitting with the county commissioner. And
Mhm.
that's what my kids here locally do because we work with Hope Pulling Center. Those
Yeah.
are kids coming out of foster care. And so
Mhm.
those kids get paid to be here. So they operate as my boots on the ground team. But we step into that space and say, okay, it's no longer thriving. Let's get the library up and rolling. So
Yeah.
that is what they're doing. That is the work that we do.
I mean, you gotta love a library. I mean, a library is like, as far as I grew up, libraries were like the center of the community. They had
Yeah,
all the programming, all of, and that's where you go and meet people. I'll meet you at the library because that was, it was also an excuse that, mom, I'm going to the library. What mother's going to say, no, you can't go to the
no,
library? I mean, please. But
right. So yeah, so that's what we are, and that's
cool.
what we do. And
So
we
does
got
it,
several projects. Hmm.
it sounds like though my students can benefit you.
Yes,
Okay.
almost definitely. Especially since because I'm not like I expect work without giving in time with the students. My program is to give the time with the
Mhm.
students. And
Okay.
so if they what I do is I train. So like I will train with it sounds like I got a lot of disciplines with yours with the students. So I'll train them on what needs to be done. And then I spend time with them. I don't expect an assignment without going through and saying, hey, this is what it is and this is the goal and here are the tools and here are how you use the tools.
And so it's, I mean, because obviously all of this is virtual.
Yes.
And how I told students, in the what I'm developing as far as the class portion, because this is a full semester class. I
Okay.
start off the class, just touching on a lot of professionalism, behavior, sort of, give them, acclimate them to work.
Right.
So pulling from the whole area of sociology of work to pull in some things there. But we then go in, how frequently would you want to meet with students? Because
I'm
students, I'm going to have them working to arrange meetings with you directly so that, it's on everybody's, I don't have to be involved in that.
right.
But
What I usually do is I meet with them in a class time.
mhm,
A lot of times it's a Friday or Saturday, and they all meet together. Be me or somebody on our team, and then we assign a project manager, and that project manager meets with me one on one. So me
okay.
and the project manager keeps the assignment on task. We use ClickUp to do that. ClickUp to do assignments. And then on Fridays, it depends on whether or not I'm going to lead it or somebody else from community university is going to lead it or someone, and this is the community educator, so I'll probably lead that. So I can check in and say, okay, this is what's going on. I'll put it all on the project manager so we understand. We assign job roles. So each person is operating within a job role. I will put the jobs on a job role, and each job role has a KPI attached to it. So each
Mhm,
job role will have a deliverable that that person in that position knows that they must accomplish. And so
okay.
I lead it as if they are a work team, and I give them tools to manage the workflow throughout the semester.
That's beautiful. Um, what I was hoping for my partners is that, like, week 6 of our course, which is the week of September 22nd. Is that
22nd. Yeah, we've got that
Yeah,
as listed as the experience start date, September 22nd.
okay.
and so at that point it would be awesome if you could maybe post like a little welcome video for the students, because
Okay.
at that point they have not necessarily been, they're not going to meet you till the following week.
Okay. That
And
they'll meet after the September. Okay. So like a
yeah,
welcome, and this is what the class is about. This is what you'll be doing.
yeah. And so it what week?
My intention is to have, prior to this, I'll assist Mary in getting all the learners up on the Ripen platform and into their teams, and then create a team for your project. So even if you send that video over to me or to Mary, I can post that on their team page for them. There's like a little resources section that I could put in there. Yeah.
And we have a video right now on the website Community Educators that spells out what the program is, and I can make it more personal by saying, you know, this is, you know, that kind of thing. But
Okay.
let me put that in the chat right now, so you can just have it. Hold on a second.
Yeah, that'd be good. We can share that.
Hold on. I think, where is it? That way. Okay, let's see.
I don't know how much you've utilized the like employer plus student chat function previously with other teams.
I think that's what we did with the Nate. I think that the students had one space where I communicated with, and
Yeah.
this is the video.
If they won't fund our schools, we'll build our own. Public education is under attack. Budgets are being slashed. Vouchers are funneling money away from our classrooms. In North Carolina, Governor Cooper has declared a state of emergency for public education. But from the ashes of a broken system, something new is rising: community-led education. Across the country, micro schools and learning pods are replacing outdated models, and they need culturally rooted, real-world curriculum created by people like you. This free live info session introduces the Community Educators Program, a 3-month cohort for creatives, cultural leaders, and professionals ready to transform their lived experience and intellectual property into powerful, sellable online curriculum for the future of education. In this 45-minute session, you'll learn why now is the moment to enter the booming micro school market, how to turn your story, skills, or cultural wisdom into curriculum, even if you've never taught before, the full breakdown of the Community Educators cohort experience, how we sell your curriculum to micro schools, you don't have to teach it, how to join the movement and get paid for your knowledge.
Micro schools foster close-knit communities, allowing for meaningful relationships between teachers and students. This setup encourages collaboration, creativity, and critical thinking. Parents love the flexibility and focus on holistic development, while students thrive in a supportive atmosphere. As the education landscape evolves, micro schools led by seasoned professionals are paving the way for a brighter, more personalized future in learning. Isn't it time to rethink how education is delivered?
So they would actually be pulling together all the resources of this campaign for me to attract people to become part of a cohort that would actually dump their intellectual property into a LMS. And then we began to teach courses around what people who had lived experience in a particular discipline, turning that into a curriculum and making sure that the people who contributed and bought into the program earn residual income. So that's the course. And I will
certainly share that. Yeah.
Use that, and that's kind of, and they would be actually let's see, let's go stop share.
I do see that. I think that's the same video that's on the project page, like embedded. But yeah, I can use that link to then make sure that the students have it on their project page as well.
And so, you know, obviously, if there was anything that you wanted them that, you know, that first week when they watched the welcome video and everything, if you wanted them to start thinking about something, start working on something, you know, then when they meet you, they will, you know, be ready to hit the ground running.
Then usually I would include maybe the job links board so they can see exactly the job descriptions we would create that, and then they can see where their skill set lies and what they can choose how they want to be in the project. one of those being the project manager of the project. So, you know, we might have someone who be the designer for all the banners and flyers, somebody that's putting together, the writer that's going to put together the blogs, you know, that kind of thing, to be able to get that content out. So when they're done, at a click of a button, we can run the campaign.
Cool.
Does the timeline work well for you? If it's sort of September, end of September to early December. I think we wanted the final presentations to be on the 8th or 9th of December.
Yes, yeah, that works.
Would that work?
Yeah, I mean, I've had the I mean, that's the timeline we've been on for the last 10 years with the Shaw students. So it's, you know,
Okay.
we kind of understand how that semester rolls, and, you know, it allows me to you know, have my Christmas and they have theirs.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
Cool. I'm excited. And I mean, this is going to be so exciting for students because they get to also help their state. You know, sometimes that's you know, there's that little affinity to, oh, what can we do to make this place better?
Right. And you're so close, I might be able to make some pop-up visits in the future. You know, we actually work with the University of Memphis, and they were so excited to find us because of the work that we're doing with community university. And Shafi was like, wait a minute, because at first I was working with Canadian. She's like, can you get somebody local? I was like, look, don't look a gift horse in the mouth. Like, I don't care where these students are coming from. And then when we got to Memphis, she was like, you got Memphis? I was like, yes. This platform is amazing. And then they called me from Uganda the other day. I was like, this platform. You guys are like a god to me. I told somebody, like, with the little G, I'm so excited about this platform. You just do not know how I'm just so happy that this is. How long you guys been around?
It's actually sort of first came about in 2014, way back in 2014, but things didn't really kick off until the pandemic, actually, when so much stuff moved online. And then, of course, it's like, well, students can't be doing their sort of placements and internships in person, so people had to find an alternative, and we were already ready to go. So
we're gonna use it, right? You guys gonna be the secret to the revolution in America. We're not gonna tell nobody.
I hope so. I'm glad to be part of it.
You know, so Mary,
it's great to assist Mary and meet employers like you, though, because this is wonderful stuff that you're doing. So
wonderful stuff you guys are providing. So, and it's great that the universities are in this space, and it's great that the kids want to, you know, make a difference. So,
well, it's one of those things that universities are really focused on. We have to really make sure students are acquiring career skills. You know, that's sort of my whole job as a dean, is infusing, you know, career readiness and experiential learning into our curriculum. And, you know, ideally, we want every student of ours who graduates out of our college, you know, from the university, we want them to have a high impact practice experience. And this is it, you know.
This is it. Because we're running like your remote team, and this is, you know, especially with the software that we're using, you're going to have to go apply for the job you want on the job board, and there will be evaluations on your deliverables and your KPIs, and at the end, if you cannot meet that, in 30 days, 90 days, people will come to you, well, you know, you just didn't work out. And so that's why we designed it that way, because this is the real world.
Tamisha, the project was set up initially that we would have small groups of 4 working. So I guess my next question, it sounds like you have a lot of bandwidth that you could take on interns.
Yeah, because I got other projects too. I just did the Silver Tsunami, which is going to be us looking at the aging of America, 10,000 people per day, and I didn't get a chance to put that to shop for that. And so there's a whole nother project that needs some help. So you have some more students, I'm definitely your girl.
Well, the reason I asked is, I mean, I do have 24 students, and, you know, I'm in the process of trying to find projects. Okay. And if I just wanted to check to make sure
I'm I'm open.
Okay.
If you need some more, just swing back. And what I'll do is I'll go ahead and create that other project, the Silver Tsunami project, and put it in so that you'll have you can, and if you need more than you want to do them in 6, and you say, hey, Tamisha, I need you to take all of them, I can go in and create some more projects. We're working with Reedsville. Reedsville project is the robotics project that's closer to you than I am. So I can actually do I can take the Reedsville project and take the tech out of it and put the sociology in it, because then that is the research of the tier 1 and tier 2 counties. And that's a whole lot of research that we need to be able to identify those counties and the people that we need to reach out. And that has to have a campaign around it too.
Well, I definitely have students that, research is what a lot of psych and soc students, they're like, yeah, well, I can research anything. And I was like, you better be able to.
Right.
you better be able to research it and then communicate what you found. Otherwise, we have failed as a discipline. So
Mary, just in the chat there, I linked Tamisha's project page where it lists all of her projects. So you could always have a browse. Those are all the ones that are open right now. So interesting to see the other stuff that's going on.
We have a relaunch of the nonprofit as well. And we've been matched up with like 10 universities so far. And
Very
my
cool.
My friend told me, she was like, don't take too many on, but she didn't know. She thought that you could just give a students the project and then just go away and have a deliverable. And I'm like, no, you can't do that. These are students. You're teaching them. You are an extension of the university. So you've got to provide direction for them. And then it's accountability, because if they feel like they can shrink in your class and go drink on the weekends, they will do that because they're students. So and she wasn't aware of that. So, but we've been doing this with Shaw for 10 years.
Yeah, the mentoring is huge. Like, ideal employer will be someone who understands that, and we'll take the time to do that. So that's fantastic.
So if you want me to create, so if you see something there, go ahead and reach out. And then what we can do is I can tailor it now that I know what your students are disciplined in, and the research and the reporting of that. And then I can actually put you around that project so that we can get their initial research, and then still train them for the project tools that's needed for the infrastructure of the customer journey when they go through that project.
Cool.
Okay.
No, I'm excited. I'm excited.
Me too.
I think my students are going to be excited.
Yeah, I think it's the beginning of a great relationship, and that we're going to be able to. And I see when I took my son to visit your school, I was like, because he wanted to be an architect at first, and then he's decided on engineering because of the I fell in love with Charlotte. I wanted him to go to Charlotte, and he chose A&T because he went into the engineering piece, and I think that this is amazing to be able to be able to have this relationship. So I appreciate this.
I'm so excited. I'm sitting here just going, okay, Mary, just stay calm.
Yeah.
I don't say I emote all over the place. It comes flying out of me. So this is awesome. I am so excited. So Tamisha, what I will do when I'm totally rebuilding the syllabus for this thing and everything, I will make sure when it's ready to roll that you have it so you can see sort of how anything you need from me, I am willing to share. I don't believe in reinventing the wheel. I believe in sharing resources, and if there's anything you need, let me know. If there's anything I need to prepare students for before they come to you, I will do whatever I need to do on my end to make sure that they are best prepared for you.
So what I'll do is, we know we have the community educators program. If you want to go in and see any other program that you would like, I think that they'd be really good for the robotics program. So if you look at the robotics program, because that is a program that we're targeting for in Winston-Salem, in Reedsville, and we're going to be working with Winston-Salem students as well as A&T students, then we can
Okay.
actually say we working with University of Charlotte as well, and then they can go in and do the initial research with that. So that's another one that would be good. And also the relaunch of the TMT Youth Community Foundation, because we're moving from just the team as a nonprofit to a community development corp. So all of that, the websites and all this other good stuff has to move into this new imaging and branding that we're going into. So those 3 projects, I know that I can keep your students busy. And then what I can do from there is go ahead and do the job descriptions for those students, and then send you over the jobs board. So then that way you can see, and then that's probably like 15 positions I can create, so 5, well, I guess 5 for each, 5, 10, 15, about 15 positions, 5 for each project. And then that way you'll see, and they can see what job descriptions are going to be needed for each of those projects. And then you've got yourself at least 2/3 of the class, done.
Laura, how does that work when there's an employer that has multiple projects that we could potentially, I mean, since I'm new here,
Yeah. Yeah,
how
good
does
question.
that work?
Yeah, so totally fine. We can send multiple match requests per employer. So if, in this case, we liked 3 of Tamisha's projects and you wanted 3 different student groups to work on those 3, you can send a match request, or vice versa. Tamisha can send them to you and they can be accepted, and that works out well. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, because, any of those projects would be interesting. And I think my students could, definitely do the work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, just a case of reviewing them a bit more and finding the ones that you think might be a best fit, and send a match request for the
And
ones
I'll
that you
accept
like.
it.
Yeah.
And so there we
Ready to
go.
go. Okay. I mean, because I'm good for any of those. So.
And if you want to pull all your students together and not show up in Charlotte, I can do that too. Like, I mean, I can get on the train, and then I can stop by in Greensboro and see my son. So, I mean, I can definitely do that as well. So, I mean, it's not a problem, because you are so close, and so, send it out. Let me know, how that works. Because some of the match requests and viewing the universities, some of them have a pitch competition where people are showing up local to pitch to the kids, and like, well, you can Skype in, and so they're doing that as well. So I mean, it's you're close.
Yeah. I mean, we definitely have had some pitch competitions for various things at UNC Charlotte in the past. I don't know, if people are still doing that, because, sadly, people are going other places. Laura, your country is reaping the benefit of the chaos to your south, because
I'm in Canada, Tamisha.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I've had multiple colleagues. I mean, one of them, as of July 31st, she's in Ottawa. She was like, well, and I had a feeling since January that she was probably, because her husband's Canadian, and she was like, well,
even honestly, I'm even seeing like car registration plates way more from like Washington. That's like one from Oklahoma. I'm like, how'd you get here? Like, so even just so lots of people
drive. I mean,
great migration.
One of my colleagues was just up in Toronto. Yeah, you met Jennifer. Laura.
Yes.
And she was like, I was almost hoping that they wouldn't let me back in the US. I just stay. It's you have to understand, Tamisha, a lot of faculty are feeling very, very attacked. And
Well, I mean, well, you gotta understand, you gotta look at the history of Kent State, you know what I'm saying? So you
Mhm.
guys have the future in your hands. So, you have to understand. I mean, America knows, America understands what we went through in the 60s. America understands what they had to do. And then we've been complacent. They bought up Hollywood, and now we're trying to now we get to see what's really going on in Hollywood and why Hollywood exists to keep us complacent. And so people are not, they waking up. We've been complacent, and you drugged us out for years.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
So,
know, but it's good to know that you could handle that. You have multiple projects that if, we could send more students if,
yep.
because I'm trying, since classes start Monday,
Hmm.
I'm trying to get, projects sort of aligned this week if
Right.
possible,
Right.
firmed up so that when I walk into class face to face, but when I send everything out on Monday next week, because we use Canvas, and so I'll post everything and go, this is what we have
Yep.
going on.
Hmm. And we've got a system, so we've got a way to govern it, so it's
Yeah.
not overwhelming to us, especially with the jobs board, how we meet, the ClickUp, and the project manager. We take a systematic approach to and then I may be able to combine you with some other cohorts that we have coming so that the kids actually meet together, based upon their time.
Oh, that'd be fun.
And
Yeah.
that's even cooler. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
that's very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it.
I see you trying to keep calm.
No,
She wants to jump up out of her chair.
I mean, Laura's been in enough of these meetings with me now. It's good. She's starting to read. Okay, Mary's working hard to stay contained.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
Let's do it. And it
so,
benefits our state. Yeah.
Laura, is there anything that I need to ask that I have not asked?
No, my checkoff list is always the dates, and the dates seem good. Details around deliverables. So there are those listed on the project page there, which seem suitable, I think. Final presentation, if that's okay, as a deliverable, as well. And yeah, expectations for communication. I know you're going to be great at that. So,
Yep.
and we do, we're trying to ask employers to use Ripen, the Ripen platform, for communication as much as can be done, to sort of organize meetings. And we don't have Zoom and stuff integrated in, so that your calls and stuff will be outside of the platform, but you can send links and stuff in there. I think you can integrate maybe Google Meets or something now, but
My schedule is like I mean, like, I put my Zoom link in, but I still can't schedule a Zoom specifically. And I tried all last night. I looked,
oh,
but I still can't just like click on Mary's name and then create a Zoom within the platform. So I've had to
right.
either send them over my calendar link, and then they pick a date, or like I did with this one, go to Zoom, schedule it, and then put the information in there. So on our side,
Yeah.
client side, we still can't go communication through.
Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, I feel like that's in the pipeline somewhere, because that would be really convenient.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully that's coming. But yeah, sort of organization of meetings and stuff could still be done with your student employer chat, which will only appear once the team has been created. Students get their own chat feature to speak amongst themselves, so the 4 of them would be in together, and then there's another chat box which would include you for that kind of stuff. Yeah,
That's how we did it with the National Alberta
with
Institute of
Nate.
yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay, yeah, great.
And it works
Great.
better
Okay.
with me. And if I put or assign someone else from the team, because it holds it all in one space, and it's not
Yeah,
an email.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sort of like a team lead or whatever is good to organize at the beginning as well. Yeah, cool. But I think that's everything on my list, really.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay.
So where do we go from here, Laura? It's just
I would say take a look at the other project, click on each card on that page to go into more depth there. And if there is one or two others that you would like to send a match request to, that's great. And if you need any assistance with that, I can jump in there and help. I know you have chats with other employers as well, so it would sort of be, you know, if you want to, how many students want to assign to Tamisha's work versus sort of spreading out amongst other employers, something to sort of factor in as well. But yeah, I would say have a look at the details of those projects and send any match requests as a next step. Yeah.
Yeah, because I've got the page pulled up, and there's several that, you know, the three that, you know, the robotics one, the youth community foundation transition, and the community educators, you know, program. So it would work for any of those.
Yeah. So yeah, potentially. Yeah, if that worked for Tamisha, so that would be 12 students, 3 groups there.
I mean, I'll see, because, you know, I don't know if I'm going to have enough projects by the end of this week. It's where
right
where my mild panic is coming in. You know, so that was why I had asked, you know, do you have the capacity to handle more, just in case, because I think you have some projects that students will find really interesting, and I think it will be a really good experience for them with any of these 3. So I've got two more employers I'm meeting with that so far this week, and, you know, but I'm definitely at least sending you 4, if not more.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
So we can confirm that by the end of the week. After speaking
by the end of the week, I would be able to confirm whether I'd be sending you more than 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
But definitely 4.
Definitely, you're definitely getting 4.
Okay. And I'll go ahead and send you the the jobs board around that project, and then that way, you can have that along with that a welcome letter and the video. Yes, ma'am.
That would be awesome.
Yes,
I'm just so excited. I hardly contain myself. So I know you've got things to do, so let me let you go. I will. Do you have my email?
Me? Oh yeah, I got you. I looked you up. I saw you.
There.
Yes.
Well, so you have it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So feel free. Anything that you want me to put into my Canvas course for students. I'm building everything out now. So anything that you want me to upload, just send it to me, and I will make sure that they have it in the course. If there's any resources that you want me to have them start preparing, that kind of thing. All so,
yay!
All right. Well, Tamisha, this has been fabulous. I'm sure we are probably going to have many, many more conversations, probably for years to come. You know, I can see this relationship building here. So
that's what the lady in Memphis said. She had the same excitement. She said we tried them before, and we're thinking they're in Canada, and they were like no, and then she said that Ripen came in and said give us one more try. She's like, then we found you. And then she was like, they were so excited to see. So Ripen, we need to have a conversation, because I can make the colleges very, very happy that somebody here. So let's have that conversation, because I'm attached to a lot of people that I can create projects all day long here in the Triangle. And we're now moving. I have some. I'm now working on an artist collective in Alabama, so we will be having an affiliate there, kind of doing the same work in Alabama. So our goal is to be able to put these micro schools across the country. So it's not just, you know, here in North Carolina. So goes North Carolina, so goes the nation. This is our testing.
There you go. It's proof.
And well, it used to be California, but now I guess we're like searching forward.
They're coming here. They got the beach. They got the mountains. They have good weather. They found
and we don't have as many natural disasters.
Right. You guys have banking in Charlotte. You got banking. You've got building. I mean, and it's like you don't have to knock anything down. You got a lot of land. All you have to do is cut down some trees. So I mean,
sadly, they're doing that. You know, it's see, we're a tree campus. UNC Charlotte is. You know, and so we get a little nervous when people start going, "Oh, we're just going to remove some trees." Well, are you going to plant more?
Right.
No.
Well, then can I come plant more?
Right. Yeah. So, and we're at the city of Raleigh. We're known as the city of oaks. That's one of the reasons that I stopped, because in Alabama we have a street of oak trees that lead you down to the ports. So I grew up seeing trees, and I lived in certain places. But when I got to North Carolina, I was like, I love the trees. And so they found out about us. Corporate.
I mean, that's the number one comment people from other, friends of mine from, Massachusetts, from, upstate New York, when they came to college down here, they were like, oh my God, all the trees. It was so
good
amazing.
Oxygen. It's good oxygen.
Well, all right. Let me let you go, and we will be in touch.
Yes, ma'am.
I am so excited. This
Make it happen.
Lovely to meet you, Tamisha, and hear about all the success.
Yes, Laura, thank you
for this collaboration.
And thank you for the platform. Thank you for connecting us to universities. This would not be possible if I was on the phone trying to find the person in the career development office to listen to what we're having. So you guys make it easy for us to get to the universities, 10 universities, and we just started using the platform. I love it. I just thank you guys.
It's great to hear. Yeah, I'm super happy about that.
Thank you for raising up conscious students, Ms. Mary, and we appreciate you and what University of Charlotte.
We're going to all work together to make them productive members of society.
Yes, let's go. Let's do it.
Yes. All right. Well, Tamisha, you have a wonderful afternoon, and we will definitely be in touch.
Yes, ma'am.
And I'm expecting this to probably go on for many years.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Well,
take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.